Hi everyone, I'm Chantal. Hello everyone, I'm Chantal from Growing Up Without Borders. I'm saying that twice because I have two live streams going on at the same time. So I am live over on Facebook and live here on YouTube with two different devices. So welcome everybody. I'm just making sure it's working okay because the internet is not 100%. So you'll have to let me know if there's any glitches or any slowdowns when I'm streaming here. But I want to welcome you guys and I want to thank you for joining in. And I also want to just do a quick shout out to all those people from El Salvador who wrote all those beautiful, wonderful comments on our channel and on the recent videos that we did from our tour and our visit in El Salvador. So we felt all the love and all the nice warm welcomes and messages. It was just really, really, really nice, and basically we felt the love. So just give me 1 second though, because I don't see that this is working here on Facebook. So I apologize. We may have to, Facebook might just have to wait for all those viewers that are wanting to log on. So they should just come on over over to YouTube, I guess. So good evening from Liverpool. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be sharing something interesting today from Atlanta, Georgia. Hello, hello. We love when you guys tell us where you're watching from, because it just, when you see people from, hola, from El Salvador, when you see a number on a view, on a video, you're like, well, where are all those people watching from? It's just really nice to get the numbers to life, if you will, to know where everybody is. So it's just amazing. I mean, we can see it in our stats, but it's always so much more real. From Dallas, Texas. Hola. Well, we are very close. So we're right now in Fort Worth. For those of you who don't know where Fort Worth is, it's we're in the country cowboy land, if you will, because we are very close to Dallas. Although they have like the stockyards here, which is all the rodeo kind of stuff, and cowboys and people riding on the bulls and buffaloes, not buffaloes, bulls. And the stockyards are where they bring the cattle through and all that. So we're about to actually go there this afternoon and visit a little bit more, because we went the other day and it was just closing up, so we didn't get to fully experience it all. So there you go. So one thing I wanted to talk about, I think Julia's going to join in a little bit, but I wanted to share some thoughts, and you guys can also let me know, those of you watching, and give me your comments, because as you know, when you travel as much as we do, there's different stress levels that come in. Hi from Australia. Come on in, Julia. She's peeking around the corner.
Hi.
You want to come in and join? You can give us your 2 cents too. So someone from El Salvador. We love the country of El Salvador. First of all, let me address this. El Salvador is not dangerous. So many people commented that, oh my gosh, you guys are so crazy, and oh, it's so dangerous, and oh this, and did you read the news, and did you read the travel advisory and all that? And the reality, guys, is like we didn't feel like it was dangerous at all, okay? It was not. And just like any country, if you go into big cities in the downtown on dark streets at night, you're going to risk getting into trouble. So, of course, in Central America, you just do things maybe a little bit differently, but it was no trouble. And the people are so nice. So that's why we made so many wonderful videos about that. So as you know, when you're traveling, it's not easy. We're together as a family 24/7. As you may or may not know, we homeschool the kids. My husband and I work together. We're creating all these videos for you guys together. So there's a lot of together time, nonstop, 24 hours, around the clock. And do we get on each other's nerves sometimes? Absolutely we do. And how do we maintain peace, and how do we maintain like being calm or kind of getting through all those stressful moments? Because you add on just that as a typical scenario, but then add on a stressful moment while you're traveling where something didn't go right, or it wasn't as planned, or something didn't work out. So there's certain things that you may or may want to try doing to if you're going to be putting yourself in this situation and attempting to travel with kids and being together for that long. Most families have lives where their kids go to school and the parents go each other's ways, and then they come back and then they all can talk about their day, right? And they're excited to see each other. So how do you keep that going while you're always together and not like driving each other nuts? So some of the things are like, one thing I came up with that I thought was really interesting is getting enough sleep. Because for me, if I don't get enough sleep, then you just are kind of on edge, right? And you're just not rested, or you maybe not, you're more reactive. Things bother you more. So get enough sleep, make sure the kids get enough sleep, and that usually helps kind of keep everything intact. Julie, you can give your 2 cents. I'm just throwing this out. I just came up with all this too as we're like 2 minutes before the live. Another thing is to drink a lot of water, because when you're traveling to all these countries and you're visiting, you forget to maybe drink water, and when you're dehydrated, you feel more exhausted. And so it's harder to keep going, and it's harder to do all the things you want to do if you don't have that energy you need. So water will definitely, if you're dehydrated, you'll feel more tired and exhausted. The other thing, and most moms probably know this already, but keep the kids well fed. Keep everyone well fed, because as soon as people are hungry, you start again, you get angry and edgy, and we're notorious for doing this. Like, how many times have we been out and we skipped lunches?
Many times.
Many times, like so many times. And then all of a sudden everyone's starting to get like really hungry, but because we've got all these things packed in, we're like, oh, let's just do this and then we'll go eat, and enjoy a big meal. So I don't know if you could have done that too. So that's one thing, you want to make sure that everyone's fed. So carry little snacks with you, and carry like little munchies that you can munch on, or just stop and get something to eat. Like, take the time to eat. So that's one of them. Okay, here's a big one. And this probably goes out to moms, I think, because we have a lot on our plates. We're oftentimes doing all the different things and managing the kids and all that, but it's having alone time. And so if you have alone time just by going for a walk by yourself, again, Julia kind of knows I do this. Sometimes we'll be in a certain country, and yes, I'm just reading the comment here. Sleep. I missed the whole thing. Did you read it all?
Yeah, it's funny.
Is it funny?
He said basically he imagines little Mexicans building the brick wall.
Oh, totally off topic. Okay. No, so if you have alone time, and I've done this, like, so what I was just about to say is, oftentimes I'll be walking on a street in a country, and I'll tell the girls and Tyler, like, go on the other side of the street and don't come like on my side, right? Yeah. So I've done that before, and how long does it usually last though?
A couple minutes,
or even less. Like, I'll be walking on the one side of the street, and then I'm like, hey, you guys all stay over there, so I can just like walk by myself and like just have think time, so that my brain can think without having like mommy, and no, all the time. And so then they're all on my side of the road again. So that's really important though. So as a mom, go out for a walk, get some alone time, get your own space, take time for yourself. And I'm kind of preaching to myself here, but that's really important to being able to travel as a family and continue and enjoy it. So the other thing is to, let me see what I wrote. Well, exercise patience. So that's just, if you exercise patience, then everything goes much better. So I just thought I would share a couple of those little information tidbits that you guys could utilize while you're traveling with your families abroad. So hi from England, nice to see you over there. I hope the weather's nice and that it's not gray and cloudy as everyone says. Is that really true about England? Is it always raining and gray, or is that just what we hear? What we hear in the news is often false. So you'll have to let me know. Okay, last week we told you guys everything we did, and we missed a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. So Julie's going to fill you in. What are some of the things that we did not say we did?
We do so many things that sometimes you forget about the little things. So something as well, we went to the LBJ Museum. He was basically a president right after John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So we were able to learn about him and like basically what he went through, like all that stuff. Something cool as well.
Explain to what, okay, so they have these things called presidential libraries here. Explain
so for the presidents, and it's like you see their oval room, you call it like their office and everything. You see things they said or things they went through and what they accomplished and just different things like that. And as well, for example, this one had like always like, what was it, artifacts on the wall or something?
And what was neat about this president is...
was okay.
Oh, you, yeah,
sure.
I don't know what you're going to say,
So
but go ahead.
he recorded every phone call he had with all the different people without them knowing. So you can go and listen to all the different recordings of all these people and him talking.
The weather seems to be always contrary to what they say. That's funny. And hi from Bucharest. Hi, Sora. Nice to have you with us. So this was interesting because we literally were able to listen in to his conversations, even with John F. Kennedy's wife, and they sounded like really from the 50s, like that kind of was the time, but it really sounded like the TV show I Love Lucy, like when they spoke. It was quite funny. So that was really neat.
Yeah, and something that was all cool is that the family's still really involved in the museum and stuff, so that's neat.
And politics, yeah. His daughter was there the day we visited. So, and then what was some of the other things we missed?
We went to this Texas State History Museum. I'm not sure the full name of it, but we learned all about Texas and the history from like when it started to, yeah.
The whole history of Texas, and that's just interesting. And we learned again the Six Flags over Texas, what that meant, all the different countries that kind of ruled and reigned over Texas, and how they had their wars and all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting. I don't feel so bad. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on their homework and their homeschooling curriculum and stuff like that. But in all, we're visiting all these museums and science centers and all these different places. They're learning so much. It's just amazing. So.
And then speaking of science center, did you talk about what we did yesterday?
Mm-mm.
So yesterday we went to the Science and History Museum here in Fort Worth, and it was really cool. And especially what was cool is we went and watched an IMAX movie there. And so if you don't know what IMAX is, it's basically an oval, and you're like everywhere.
It's like a dome.
Yeah.
The whole theater, it's like, I don't know. Let us, has anyone never seen an IMAX? Because maybe we're just explaining it, but maybe you already know what it is. But, I mean...
Well, I didn't fully know what it was.
Yeah, it goes all around you, and you're literally, almost leaning back, and you feel like you're in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool.
So cool. And it had 45 speakers, so it's just really
and then
neat.
we watched one Super Dogs, so it's basically all about dogs and things they can do, which is pretty cool.
Saving lives and all that.
And then they, as well, they had, lots of history and science and all that. And they also had a ride. It was, 4D, so you feel the seats are moving, you have 3D glasses, and you're going through, all the time periods of Earth and stuff.
Yeah. The museum was small, but really, really good. One of the things we have lined up this week is to go see the Cowgirl Museum. So they actually have almost like a cowgirl wall of fame, I think. The whole museum is all about different cowgirls and all that kind of stuff. So the Polar Express, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys know too, by the way, the screen was built in Canada? Or it's a Canadian company? I think it's built in Canada, but it is a Canadian company, so that's pretty cool. Just thought I'd say that since we are Canadians. So yeah, it was really neat. So, and then do we miss anything else? I'm not sure. It's like Julia said, sometimes we've done so much that it's just holy, trying to remember it all and share with you guys what we've been doing. But of course, you're going to see it in the upcoming videos either way. So we got invited to do a cooking class with a really cool Italian restaurant. So that's so cool.
Avatar, cool.
Avatar, that would be an amazing type of show. I've never seen Avatar yet, so I don't really know what it's about, to be honest, but I think it'd be really cool with all the effects and everything. So we may end up lining that up before we leave, because our next stop is going to be Louisiana. We're going to New Orleans. We're going to go to New Orleans. And we're all starting to sound very American again. Yes. Julia said something the other day, and she just I was like, oh my gosh, you sound like you're from here. Although a lot of people think we're Americans, I mean, we do sound pretty much the same, being Canadian American. It's kind of somewhat the similar accent, especially if you're from the UK listening in, you might think it's all the same, but it is quite different, believe it or not. But the South, they do have a Southern drawl, right? So sometimes we'll start saying y'all and things like that, which is quite funny.
I've said that many times, yeah.
It's great. So, but what else? What else is lined up? So what we need to know, so in New Orleans, we're planning to do different cool things, but if you're from there and you have something special that we should go and visit or come and see, please let us know in the comments below so that we don't miss out. I know they have a really cool World War II museum lined up. We're going to go to that. We're going to go down with the river boat and see some of that. And then I'm excited to learn a little bit about Hurricane Katrina, because they got hit so hard. So I think there's going to be a lot of talk about that. We're going to do a walking tour, and I'm hoping that they're going to touch and explain, how it was and what they all went through and stuff like that. So that's always nice and interesting to learn about. But other than that, that's about it. We're staying in our friend's home, and it's beautiful, and we're getting all this work done this week. We literally were glued to our computer screens. It's probably why we look like this. No. I don't know. My eyes are tired. But but yeah, it's been all week trying to just catch up on emails and catch up on work and everything like that. So Canadians pronounce. Okay, let me tell you a couple things that Canadians say different than the Americans. So us Canadians will say out and about like that, and then the Americans say out and about or something. We call a hat that goes on your head a toque, and like a winter hat, they call it a toque in Canada. And then when you have something on your back, it's like an out. They go out, yeah. So a back they call like a backpack. They call it a knapsack, and I forget which country says which. We say different words because we lived in the United States, we started to apply some of the U.S. words. One that the girls, it was so funny, and we speak French too, so we just mess everything up, guys. It's just terrible. So the other day I went to somebody, I'm like, excuse me, where are your toilets? And she's like, what? And I'm like, where are the toilets? They don't say that here. That's like a French thing you would say in French, right? So, où sont les toilettes? That's what you would say. So they're like, the restrooms. I'm like, oh yeah, the restrooms.
I used to not say restrooms, but now I say restrooms. I used to say bathrooms.
Yeah.
But now I say restrooms.
Yeah. And then the French Canadians speak different than the French from Europe too. They would actually translate bathroom, call it salle de bain, like literally the bathroom. And so every place is different, and you just kind of get used to saying things differently. But it's really funny when we mess up and we sound like total strangers. The other thing that'll give it away completely is if you go to a restaurant and here you ask the waiter, if you say, what kind of pop do you have? So in Canada, we call a soda pop, and here they call it a soda, right? So if you're asking for Sprite or Coke or whatever. So, hey, from Sweden, Denmark, that's awesome. I don't know if that's your channel name or if you're watching from 2 different countries or you're from 2 different countries, but whatever, welcome. So what are some other funny things that are different? I should make a whole video on that because it's true, there's so many little differences, although we've got the border of Canada. And did you guys know too, almost, I would say 90% of the population is at that US border, because the Canadians, well gosh, we're just so traumatized by all that cold weather that we just go as far south as we can to the border, and that's where we live. So we try to get as close as we can to the warm weather.
We say we should have a Caribbean island.
Yeah, that would be the best of all. So so we just need to do some lobbying to the Canadian government, get them to buy one of those islands, and then we'll all be good. We won't need to travel anymore. Just joking. Minnesota. Yeah, well, Minnesota. Well, you have the choice. See, this is the thing. Americans, you guys can go to Hawaii, you've got Puerto Rico, you've got Florida, Arizona, Texas. You've got all these southern states that you can go and enjoy. So, other than family and all your friends and your roots, it's a little bit hard to pick up and move south, but you really have the options to do so. Us Canadians, not so much. So, and then of course the UK, let's talk about them. What's going on with Brexit over there? Because how many people from the UK are living in southern Spain and enjoying those warm, sunny Costa del Sol sunshine, right? And what is going to happen with Brexit? Are they still going to get the visas to stay there, or what is going on? I'd love to know. So, someone from El Salvador is saying, "A mí me gustan las pupusas." We started eating pupusas every day we were in El Salvador, and they were delicious. And you saw it in our last video. We had so much fun. And the song is one of those songs that gets in your head, so we've sang it many times, especially me and Chloe. So, but there you go. So just a little fun time to be with you guys all here on our Saturday before we head out for the rest of the afternoon. Tomorrow I was working this afternoon already on the next video that's coming up. It's going to be on Antigua, Guatemala. So be sure to stay tuned tomorrow. We still have a lot of edits to do on it, so hopefully, depending on how long it takes us tonight to get it done, we will get that up and live for you tomorrow. So, UK, perfect, nice. Thanks guys so much for joining in. Be sure to share and like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much for all the love that you guys have been sharing too. I mean, just in the last week, I think we've had like 2,000 new subscribers, and I feel like they're all from El Salvador. I don't know, but so many people came in from those videos, so we really appreciate it. Thanks again for all your wonderful comments, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.